question is internet, is it a basic human right? So in 2016, the UN passed a non-binding resolution that condemns countries that intentionally disrupt citizens' internet access. But that's a very different thing from taking action towards making sure everyone has access to what we're calling human right now. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? Yeah, I think that's one of those interesting things that when we talk about access to internet, it's easy for us to think, yeah, Canada's great, everything's fine here. United States too. Everyone has access to internet from the quick perspective, the thing we see regularly on our media, on shows, and everything that we that surrounds us. We think, hey, yeah, it's fine. Everyone has access to internet. What's the problem? But it's actually not something that just is an international issue. It's something we experience here at home too, especially in the rural communities, in the northern communities that don't have access to that service, or even if they have access to service, it might not be as affordable as what it should be. I think Valentin, you probably have some great comments on that. I know you felt you did actually some research on this subject as well, so I think you have some interesting information for us here on that subject.
Yeah, and it seems a bit counterintuitive because we keep hearing, and for the folks who are not in Canada, you'll recognize maybe a similar story. Right now, everything is about 5G, and we even talk about stuff like there's even discussions about sending satellites for internet with the Elon Musk project. The issue that we see is that those are for new infrastructures. And for example, 5G is a very interesting network, but by definition of the way that technology works, the reach is smaller. The antenna the signal doesn't travel as far as it used to. So it's a shorter range, but more powerful. Satellite is a very interesting technology because you could have internet in remote areas, but as soon as there's one tree and there's one sheet of paper and you don't have that signal anymore, so it's still also very expensive unless you have $100 a month you can pay for it, or even more. Not everybody has a setup where they can use those things. And when we looked at the numbers from, for example, keep in mind those numbers are for Canada. Even though there's a lot of investment in 5G and satellite connection, things like that, when you look at what Canada, the government, is defining as basic internet speed, everybody has a different definition, but here it's 50 megabyte download, 10 megabyte uploads. Now, to give you a reference, this is the equivalent of having about, let's say, 2 Zoom calls at the same time. I'm using that example very deliberately. I was recently talking with a partner in New Brunswick, and they gave this example where they work a lot with schools, and in those remote areas, parents sometimes they have to work from home as well, right? Now, if the kid is using a Zoom for school and the parents are using Zoom for school, there might not be enough internet for both of them, especially when you use some platforms like in school environments like Google Documents and all that, those very interactive, collaborative documents. They're eating your internet. And, they're very intense in terms of Slack and Teams. All those tools that are used for constant collaborative communication are very, very heavy in terms of usage of internet. So if you have a satellite connection, or if you have a bad internet connection, the latency and the delays and how spotty it is means that sometimes parents have to choose who will get to see a video, who will get to use video that day for their Zoom call and such. And sadly, the reality of what they told me is sometimes parents don't want to win this argument, but they're bringing the money on the table. So the kid will watch a whole class without any video support. And this is here in Quebec, in Canada, sorry, the specific case is from New Brunswick, simply because right now internet is that basic internet speed, 50 megabyte download, 10 megabyte upload. Half of Canada doesn't have it. And there's one caveat that's very important here is the way we define internet is not just in terms of speed, it also the fact it has to be unlimited. So if you have on your cell phone, a very good internet speed that you can have access in 94% of the communities in Canada, congrats. but I bet your cell phone is not unlimited. So if you have online classes and you start watching all that content online, you will go through your internet speed really, really quickly. So basic internet speed, 50 megabyte download, 10 megabyte upload, unlimited. And this is where it breaks, because all that discussion about everybody's connected usually refers to 4G and 5G network.